Good morning, Chief Smiths. I'll be doing my presentation on my Medal of Honor recipient, Master Chief Special Warfare Operator, retired Edward Byers Jr. He was born in 1979 in Toledo, Ohio. During his younger years, he went ahead and he spent his time in Grand Rapids, Ohio. In 1998, he went ahead and he joined the Navy as a hospital corpsman. In 1999, he was able to achieve both his ESWAS and his FMF pin. 2002, fast forward a couple years later, he was able to complete his BUD SEAL training, and then also was able to complete training for Special Operations Combat Medic. Fast forward a little bit into his career. In 2012, he was part of a joint task force where he was part of a mission during Operation Enduring Freedom, and this mission was for him to go ahead with his SEAL teammates to go ahead and complete a mission that was a no-fail hostage rescue mission. They flew in on December 8th, 2012, where they had went ahead and they arrived on the ground. They hiked in about 5 hours to get to this target location. Once they got to the target location, his point man, which was Chief Special Warfare Operator Nicholas Check, had seen the enemy at the location, at the building, the compound where they were supposed to be retrieving the hostage. While the point man was there and Edward Byers was there, the enemy assailant at the door had saw that the rescue mission was in progress, and he went to retreat back inside the compound. His point man, Nicholas Check, went ahead to engage that enemy, and he had started to go through the front of that compound. Unfortunately, Nicholas Check was shot in the head and was out of combat at that time. Edward Byers, who second person there, had went ahead and he tore down the 6 canvas blankets that were the makeshift door of that compound, that hut area where they were supposed to be rescuing that hostage. He engaged with that enemy that was inside of the room. After that, he was able to subdue that enemy. And then additionally, while in that room, it was pitch black. He was wearing a night vision goggle, and the night vision goggles, while adjusting that, he saw that another enemy had darted out towards a weapons pile that was in the corner that had like AK-47s and things. He then had rushed to that side of the room where he engaged in hand-to-hand combat to take out that enemy as well. During his time of taking out that enemy and his SEAL team, the remaining team members coming into the room, they had went ahead and he was calling out to Dr. Joseph, the hostage that was there for the hostage rescue mission, and Dr. Joseph was able to speak out and let him know where he was at within the room. Edward Byers then went ahead and he threw his body on top of Dr. Joseph to protect him from the many rounds and the firefight that was ensuing within the room with the other fighters. During that time, Edward Byers also saw that there was another assailant that was close by and was able to take that enemy assailant and pin him up against the wall long enough for his teammates, part of the SEAL team, to go ahead and subdue that individual as well. From there, they were able to take the hostage, Dr. Joseph, and remove him from the area. Edward Byers went ahead and he passed off Dr. Joseph to his SEAL teammates where they had taken him to safety, and then proceeded to go ahead and check on his buddy, Nicholas Check, who was lying on the ground bleeding out. He went ahead and did everything that he could, being qualified as a corpsman and a paramedic, and tried to help where he could. They were then able to take Nicholas Check and get him on board the helicopter to get them back to safety. For about 40 minutes, him and others, Edward Byers and his other teammates, had tried to do CPR and keep Nicholas Check alive and in a stable condition. Unfortunately, Nicholas Check succumbed to his wounds, and he passed away before he could make it to a place where they could render further aid. In 2016, President Barack Obama awarded Edward Byers with the Medal of Honor, and Master Chief retired Edward Byers did not see himself as the hero It wasn't about him and what his actions were that day. It was more or less about the actions of his team and the actions and someone who paid the ultimate sacrifice, Nicholas Check. And he holds very much true to that. He's a very humble man, and I admire his actions that day, and I think that it's a very taken back situation, and you think there's a lot going on within that room, and a lot of choices that he had to make, split second decision choices, keeping everything mission focused, and then going back to check on his buddy, his people, to see if he was okay. And at the end of the day, unfortunately a life was lost, but also they were able to go ahead and bring that hostage to safety. So that ends where my Medal of Honor recipient. Thank you for hearing me.